I don't really want to play with this anymore. It's not very fun. An hour later, I was like in the shower and I was like, it might be fun if you interacted with it. You know all the things it can't do. So why don't you show everyone what it can't do? And I just start auditioning them with a white background so that you don't get distracted by the good graphics. And the rest is history, I guess.
Welcome to another CG garage, where the monstrous moon shines. We're building new Hollywood like in 1970, once prime. From Archer's bold dreams to AI's fever dream, where tech meets the silver or LED screen. Pixels and passion, our pipelines unknown to host one show on a deadline postponed.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the CG Garage. This is episode number 551, featuring Sergio Cilli, who is a writer, director, actor, and just fantastic comedian. He's done some incredible work. I saw his series on Instagram called Will AI Replace Us? And it's a series of little shorts that he's done where essentially he's auditioning different AI actors for different parts and they are failing miserably. It is hilarious. It is very, very funny. Now, here's the thing that's interesting about it. People who are pro AI don't like what he's done because he's criticizing what AI is doing. And people who are anti-AI don't like what he's doing because he's using AI. And so he's but honestly, he's doing the best of all of it because he's essentially just using AI as a medium to tell you about where AI is falling apart. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. We talk about it quite a bit on the podcast. I have actually seen his work. He's done incredible work over at Comedy Central, Funny or Die, and a bunch of other places. But I didn't realize it, and you sort of see it in the podcast itself, that he's one of the guys who created the short that a lot of people have seen many, many years ago called We've Got That B-Roll. Okay, in terms of events, there's not much coming up right now except for the end of July, which is SIGGRAPH. There's a lot of exciting things going on there. I'll be talking about some of the stuff we're doing on June, July. We've got a shoot coming up. We're doing a bunch of work in the Gaussian splat world, which I'm sure many of you are fascinated by. So that's coming up in July. In terms of the podcast, you guys know where to follow us. We are at cggarage.com. Of course, our YouTube is youtube.com/@cggaragepodcast. And if you want to join our Discord, you can just go to cggarage.com/Discord, and that'll take you to the Monstrous Moonshine Discord, which includes discussions about the podcast itself. But we have a whole bunch of social medias that we're doing as well, including Instagram. So the best thing to do is just go to our link tree, which is mmstudios71, mmstudios71. And that's on our link trees. So, but for now, please enjoy episode number 551 with Sergio Cilli.
This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by CenterGrid Virtual Studio. Wondering why you went to film school just to be stuck managing hardware life cycles? CenterGrid delivers end-to-end GPU-accelerated cloud workstations built specifically for VFX and creative production, with flat, predictable pricing and personalized support from people who actually get your workflow. Plus, CenterGrid is TPN Gold Shield certified, so your studio's security is locked down. Check out what Virtual Studio can do for your pipeline at cgvirtualstudio.com. This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by Kitbash 3D, one of our favorite tools and an essential tool for 3D artists everywhere. With the largest library of cinematic quality production-ready 3D assets, Kitbash 3D ensures that your studio has the tools to build stunning environments quickly, efficiently, and at scale. Design detailed worlds in a fraction of the time without compromising on quality. Head to kitbash3d.com and use the code CGGarage at checkout for 10% off any kit. Again, that's kitbash3d.com, code CGGarage.
I was just telling Daniel about how when he talks on a mic, it just reminds me of Singing in the Rain, because he does this thing where he walks away from the microphone. That's right. And then he comes back. Sure. He is so energetic in his chair and he gets so lively. And it's like,
I get a little righty.
Stop.
That's how it is.
Luckily, I can fix most of those audio problems. Anyway, thank you, Sergio. We have been trying to actually, first of all, let's just put this history in there. I saw your stuff and I thought it was fabulous.
No, it's hysterical.
On Instagram. Brilliant. Hilarious. great writer, great. You're taking a great moment and turning it into something very funny and bringing a lot of attention to it. Really good stuff. And so immediately I was like, I got to see if I have this guy on our podcast. Obviously, I've been talking about AI, and I've actually been. I don't know if you know this, but long before AI stuff happened and everything else. I actually started a project which got a lot of attention called the WikiHuman project, which was the digital human project that was from long ago,
okay.
right? So I've been interested in digital humans for a long time, and I've been talking about the problems of digital humans and how it's to overcome it. Uncanny Valley was a huge thing back then, and so I've been sort of struggling with that as a concept and all. So when you did what you did, is you sort of brought attention to it to a very broad audience, and I thought it was fantastic. I reached out to you on Instagram. You were so kind and replied back to me. I didn't actually expect to reply back. And so here we are. After 6 attempts of trying to get the schedules to work out, we were finally here.
That's the catch, is that I'll respond, but it might take a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you did respond, and we're getting this to work. So just a quick reminder, I don't know if I told you this before we started, but this is on Riverside. Just when we say our goodbye, don't leave yet, because the thing is still uploading.
Yes, I've done a couple Riversides,
so
great.
I will make sure I can. Yeah, I know what to do. I got that.
You know what to do.
And
Perfect.
also not. I think we have plenty of time. I have to pick up my kids at 3 in an hour, in a little less than an hour. So hopefully that's okay.
All right,
We can make this
roll.
work. We can make this
good.
work.
Okay.
Okay. Did you say you're picking up your kids at In and Out?
In an hour. No.
That's the most LA thing possible.
Yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon. We moved out 6 years ago.
Oh, my daughter.
Oh, you did?
Although I do have a Hard Rock Los Angeles shirt from when I was 12.
Excellent. Yeah.
But when everyone wore huge shirts, so you can age into them pretty well.
That's
my mom
what
found it.
That's my whole plan. Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge Powell's Books fan, so I'm already.
Oh,
in
yeah.
touch. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Definitely.
You are like the 5th person that I've spoken to who's an LA native who's moved to Portland. So Portland is definitely a lot of expats, shall we say, are moving there, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's pretty close, and I mean, I was just in LA 4 days ago, so
right.
It's pretty close, except it's so much nicer.
Yeah, it's true. And there might be
There's
more
a
work
lot
there.
of things. Nothing that I'm sure you'll have to watch out, because I digress a lot.
No,
But
go for it. That's what
I
we do.
miss the people of LA so much. I love LA so much more now than when I lived there. I think it is one of those things where when you get distance from it, I don't know where are you guys?
I live in Duarte. It's like 3 towns past.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are all right, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I never felt like I was from Los Angeles until I moved away, and now I very much feel like I am.
Yep.
And I was there 20 years though. So
Right.
Where were you
think
before that?
Before LA, I went to school at Ithaca College in upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yeah, beautiful up there.
I was a
I went to
major,
Colgate University, not far. From
Yeah,
there.
not far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you study film?
I did. Yeah, with a focus on screenwriting. I was I graduated in 2002, and I was the last film class to use reel-to-reel. They went digital the next year. So it was a very useful tool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
the tech shift. Yeah, it starts like editing on Steambex and stuff like that, where like it's hard to even picture now. Like, it's just like actually cutting and taping and things like this. Really, really wild.
We just had the episode of the podcast that came out today was with Bill Warner, the inventor of Avid.
Yes.
So,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So yeah, it's a digital revolution. But that was 87 that the Avid came out. Just think about that.
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was interesting because he invented the Avid because he thought it had already been invented, and he was shocked that no one had thought of it before.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what do you mean you're still cutting one thing at a time linearly? That makes no sense.
Right.
So, anyway.
I do think editing on a film, it does program your brain a certain way, though, because I still think of things that way. Yeah.
Well, I think that there's something like to connect to the AI thing, which I know we'll get into. Like there is a major, like good or bad, changes in technology make you really think hard about what is valuable to you about how you do things.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it shifted from Steam Deck editing to Avid editing and all this stuff, like I remember people being quite mad about it.
Yeah, people were mad when film to the digital, the early 2000s,
right.
when people were like, it's never going to look as good as film.
Yep. And
people were upset then too.
Yeah, exactly. And tell me if you think I'm dead wrong on this, but there's a lot of it changed how editing worked. It changed how we thought about storytelling, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of bad things and lousy garbage came out of it because now you can cut so fast. You didn't
right.
That was definitely a massive side effect. But at the
I
same
think good
time,
and bad things. And then
good
it was
things
like
also,
the Adam McKay of just let it roll and improvise do a 45-minute take or something.
Yep.
Which I like doing.
Yeah.
And not having to worry about it. I mean, my student film was shot on film, and it was definitely not as good as it could have been because I was so concerned about money and getting, we had to do a couple takes, you just have to move on and, and then color correcting, all the stuff you had to do. I mean, not that you don't have to color correct now, but it was so much, everything was so expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Tupan Dan on your site.
Yeah.
And that was, first of all, that's a great short film. That's an excellent short film.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
I wanted to ask how, when you put that together, what was your, was your intention to use this as a thing to get somewhere or to make it of itself as its own thing because you wanted to make that?
It actually was a stage show.
Oh,
great.
Great.
It was first a stage show that I acted in with my friend Renee Goubet, who is a very talented writer and actor who is on The Bear and is a writer on The Bear. And we did this show at Upright Citizens Brigade in LA, and I really enjoyed doing it. And was a huge fan of Rory and Drew's. And I knew I wanted to direct it. So it was mostly just to make something. It was kind of made at an unfortunate time when that was the year of the pandemic. So the whole film, the festival scene was like a mess.
Sure.
So it was sort of, but I still got to pay to enter in all of them. So that was cool.
That's super great.
So I got to do all the financial stuff with film festivals, but then I didn't get to attend any. So I really liked the short too, and thanks for watching it. But the point of it was just to make something fun, and I never thought it could be like a feature or anything. Yeah, it really was mostly just to work with actors I really liked and have something a little more fresh on the narrative side of things because I was doing so many commercials at the time.
Because I wanted to bring that up just because so much stuff, especially stuff I see that people are trying to drive with things like AI and whatnot now, is made so people can, I don't know, they want to get someplace else instead of spending time making what they're making well and making it good because it's fun to make things. And when you spend time to make something fun because it's fun to make, you make something fun. You make something that's good. And that serves what you're trying to do overall in your career way better than trying to make some sort of deal with the future. And I think that what I don't know what your how your actor pieces came about, but you have put something already into my lexicon, which I'm going to at least reference for a year, which is, of course, I've seen the Shawshank Redemption, which is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
I love that one. I'm not to be a fan of my own stuff, but
it
surprises me. It surprises me too. That's why I'm experiencing it as much as you all are. I really am.
You are enjoying your AI slop. You are having so much fun.
I probably shouldn't say that, but yes, I am enjoying it.
Why wouldn't you?
It's hysterically funny.
It's your absolutely. It's. I was listening to Seinfeld today, and he was talking on what's his name. famous shock jock. What's his name? Who's
Rogan
the
or Howard
no,
Stern?
no. Howard Stern. He was on Howard Stern, and he was basically talking to him about like how everything he does, like goes to a Chinese restaurant, turns into a story, right? Like everything he's doing is fun. And to him, that's enjoyable, right?
Yep.
Stupid things that happen to him, bad things that happen to him are an opportunity for a funny story. And that feels to me like what you're doing here. It's like, okay, I'm going to take the opportunity of this crap that I'm dealt with to make it into a funny story, right?
Yeah,
and
like,
you are,
exactly.
right?
Like, you like
And
this
I've always operated that way.
Yeah.
I've always operated that way. I did a lot of sketch comedy in the early. I mean, that was like how I got my start as a filmmaker. I mean, as far as like people seeing things I've done.
Yeah, give us a
group.
quick overview so people have some good context of how you got into this. Obviously, Ithaca was one of them, but
Ithaca, and then I PA'd for like 6 years. I'll try to do it quick because it is. There is a long history. I was there 18 years, so Ithaca, PA'd for a long time on a bunch of movies you've literally never heard of. I'm not being modest. They are truly movies you've never heard of. But I loved being on set. The kind of like big break for me was I ended up PAing on a Comedy Central show and I really was like, I felt like I was like, I am done. I actually wanted to like move out of LA. It was like just draining me. I wasn't making anything. I was just too busy trying to make rent, and PAing, as you may or may not know, it really is a time. It's like to make a living, you really have to work like, 70 hours a week.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
So I was very, very burnt out. And eventually ended up on this Comedy Central show, the Showbiz show with David Spade. And the writer assistant was sick one day, so they let me be in that room and like helped them with stuff. And my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I want to be doing what these guys do, sitting in a room all day, making jokes. I begged the head writer, who ended up being a really good friend and mentor, Tom Martin, who was a writer on The Simpsons and just an overall wonderful person. I really like pleaded to be a writer's assistant. And they're like, we already have one. I was like, well, maybe you have two. And it was like, it truly was. And up until that point, I'd never like begged for anything, which I highly recommend. Well, use them wisely. Use them wisely, because if you're sparing, I beg all the time, no one pays attention.
Right.
I really like begged for them, and eventually they're like, okay, fine. And then it was just a dream job. And long story short, I ended up pitching jokes that got on the air. I ended up creating segments for David Spade. He ended up putting me on camera. From there, I went on to the Late Show as a segment producer, where I would like find clips for Craig to make fun of. From there, I went on to Current TV, which was this deep cable channel that Al Gore started, where I had a weekly show for like 8 years. No one ever saw it. There was like this tiny following though, and it was like the easiest, coolest job that no one saw, but it was like put money in my pocket and allowed me to also do other things. In that time, I started taking improv classes at Upright Citizens Brigade in LA, where I met a lot of great people. The list is like, that was such an amazing time in LA. There were so many people that have gone on to become pretty famous, and great directors, actors, writers. All of those people I met in like the 2007, 2010, that kind of pool. UCBLA was just starting. I started a sketch group with my friend Casey Fay, Jacob Womack, and Betsy Sidaro. We did like a bunch of shows, made videos. A couple of them went viral. And going back to what you said, though, like a video that I actually reposted recently that did like 1 million views and then got kicked off of Instagram was one called, it was a thing that happened in real life that made me want to make a video. And I went to this weird bachelor party in the woods, and like there was this dude doing cocaine in his tent, and I thought that was so strange.
Right.
And he was like, does anyone want to do cocaine with me in my tent? And I was like, no. And it was like, but it was like this beautiful like outdoor camping trip, and this one dude was just like cranking lines in his tent. And I just went home with that idea. I was like, that is so funny. Like the juxtaposition of these two things. So I made this sketch called Coked Up Camper with Funny or Die. And at that point I was getting involved in Funny or Die.
That's like Girl Drink Drunk, man. That's perfect.
Coked Up Camper. That's it. What are you guys doing? Climbing in the gorge? I'm going to be here running a line of blow. That's good. Yeah. Nice.
But it came from real life.
That's insane. That's insane.
And then from there, I ended up doing branded stuff at Funny or Die. And that eventually led to like a commercial career. I've sold like a couple scripts, features. I don't know. I've kind of done it all. And yeah.
So
that's to hear.
Yeah.
And why did you move out of LA?
I just couldn't stand the weather. I really can't. I really can't.
75 and sunny all the time.
No, it's not. You're lying to people.
That's a lie.
It's 95. 95 and sunny.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in like Glassell Park. It's hot as hell all the time up there. And maybe if you're in like the beach, it's 75 and sunny, but
that's true.
I don't know. I was just there. It was 90 degrees.
But we're all film directors that have houses on the beach in Malibu, right?
Of course. Yes. Of course.
It's always perfect out here.
It was the weather, and I don't know. Downtime in LA, I always found difficult. And we had two really little kids, and I don't know. I really just wanted to get out. I always thought I would eventually, and wanted like a wetter climate, cooler climate, a little more space, that kind of stuff.
Do you feel?
Well, we all.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you feel more productive there, or do you feel like
I write so much more? Yeah. I mean, it's weird because now I wish I could be the person I am here when I was in LA, but I realized that was impossible. Yeah. I am lucky that I get to go back so much, and I still have maintained all the friendships there and all the like career relationships too. But it's been amazing creatively to be here,
right?
Because I don't have a very big social life here, other than like raising my kids with my wife. That is my social life, and then during the day I'm just in this office writing or doing something like that. So it's been really nice. And then I fly to wherever the shoots are, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I agree.
It's so beautiful out there.
So let me tell you this, because I know we want to make sure we talk about it. What got you into doing these particular series of videos about AI? Like, how did that start?
So it started with last summer. There was like a lot of articles. I think VO3 was coming out. There was like all the new models were coming out, and they were kind of blowing people away, which led to like a panic within the industry of like, is this it? And there was a lot of hype around them, and a lot of kind of like doomsday articles, like Hollywood is cooked kind of stuff. And I completely bought into it and I'd never done any AI at all at this point. I mean, I didn't even use like the chat stuff, like nothing. And in general, I'm not like someone that like really likes tech that much. I didn't even get an iPhone. I was one of the last people to get an iPhone. So I was really kind of getting nervous about it, especially someone that does commercials. Like that seems like the doors were closing fast. And my wife said, when we were on vacation at the time, and she said, when you get home, I really think you should start playing with AI and just like see what this thing is that you're so scared of. I was like truly like terrified of it. And so that's what I did when I got home. I called up someone I work with and that I knew a little bit about it. It's like, what are the ones that people think are good? Started messing around with it. I will say, like, the initial reaction was like, oh, wow, I can have an idea, and then 5 seconds later start trying to execute that idea. Right. So there was something like very instant gratification nice about that. But like immediately saw like the limitations of where it was at as far as performance stuff. Most of my comedy style is like very performance based, very nuanced, grounded performances. So like that was not happening with AI. I figured out, like, I made a couple 100% AI videos that I was like, oh, okay, it'll work for this. Like We Got That AI, which was like a follow up to a video I did.
We Got That B-roll.
Yes, and I made one with AI called "We Got That AI."
Yeah.
And
Did you make the "We Got That B-roll"? No.
yes,
You did make
yes,
"We
So
Got."
good.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So
I
good.
love that video. I use it
Classics.
all the time. I didn't know that
We
you
got
did
that
both.
B-roll. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, that was me.
Tremendous.
So I made a follow-up 15 years later.
Yes.
We got that AI because I knew I could get like robotic performances.
Right.
Absolutely
So that
right.
like worked really well. And I knew I could get tons of B-roll. AI B-roll, no problem. I think pharmaceutical commercials, not that they're good to begin with. Those are going to be very easy
Right.
to get AI B-roll.
Right.
I did that. And then I did one where like it was supposed to be a very weird interview with a CEO of a company.
Uh-huh.
No one really liked these videos. I got friends were like, why are you doing this? Like, it was actually more like people were kind of annoyed that I was playing with it. And when I was making them, it took a very long time, lots of takes, lots
Yes.
of limitations, trying to work with what you have. So I didn't know at the time, but I was basically making a mental log of all the things AI can't do. After I'd made a few videos on my own, it's like, I don't really want to play with this anymore. It's not very fun. And I don't like the videos I'm making with it, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And of course, that's when an hour later, I was like in the shower and I was like, you know, it might be fun if you interacted with it. And like your humanness against it would be kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that would be kind of funny. And then I thought, oh, you know all the things it can't do. So why don't you show everyone what it can't do? And the idea popped in my head, like, just start auditioning them
Right.
with a white background so that you don't get distracted by the good graphics.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history, I guess.
You
My
figure
favorite
the thing
is
that,
when he brings out the gun. That was
is that gun?
Yeah. And that was the first one.
It's incredible.
That was the first one. And that was
so
like,
good.
I mean, it was so crazy. It was real. And that's when I knew it, like,
but it did happen.
right. I mean, I didn't tell it to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and that was when I knew like there was something pretty amazing that if I just let it do what it does with the improv background I have, I could interact with it in a fun way that is always going to be unexpected. They're still unscripted.
Well, there's a great.
That's why I was saying I like it too, because I get excited too when they do it.
Right, because like there's this terrific line from what do you call it, Jackie Brown, when Samuel Jackson says, "Well, you can't trust Melanie, but you can always trust Melanie to be Melanie." And I feel that way. Just like what you discovered is that AI can be trusted to not be trusted. Like this is like it will screw up in exactly this way.
Weird.
It'll always be weird. Yeah, exactly. And hinging the comedy on that one fact is what breaks it out perfectly. And which is a weird way to make art with AI. Like you found a way to make art with AI very successfully because you know that it is artless. And then by bringing what you think about that to it, you're making a movie about you reacting to it rather than anything you're telling it to do. Right. And I feel that there's like I promise there's a thrill on my head on this thing, but like with I've seen so many shitty short films, like so many of them. You know, we've been to film festivals. Like I've made shitty short films, like everything. I've made like, oh, I'm going to make this and then it's going to get me someplace or blah, blah, blah. And when you make something thinking it's going to be a shortcut somewhere, it's usually terrible. Mm-hmm. Like almost always, right? And I feel like everybody who, like all the companies that want to invest heavily in AI we're going to replace everybody with AI. Like that's what they want. They want this shortcut to something else, when that's not how you get good stuff. Like you get good stuff by doing the work. That's where the good stuff comes from. And like
absolutely.
And even if you are using the like AI, like you are, like it took work to get it to be funny by generating the thing that you could be funny with. Like, but that's you getting there, not it getting there. Like it's just doing what it does.
I think it's so important that you do that. Like all creative people, right? I've been thinking, here's the thing I've been struggling with, Sergio, because I think everyone thinks they're going to become rich with AI when in fact, no one's going to be rich with AI. The very nature of, I was thinking about the term, the business term, a moat. Like I have a moat, I have technology that no one else has, or I have something that no one else has. AI has destroyed all moats, all of them, because anyone can make anything. I don't program, and I've written 16 programs, right? It doesn't make any difference. So the moat that we have, that we always should have had from the beginning, is our own creative ideas, right? And you have your moat is you've taken, in the sense, if I'm just looking at this here, I'm sure you have many other ones, but the one you've created is like, I'm going to exploit AI for my own comedy.
Yeah.
And create my own thing. And that is fabulous. That's a fabulous.
Your mode is you. Like nobody else can do that. Like that's
no,
the thing.
and you've done it better than anyone has ever done, right? Because I've heard people complain about AI a lot, but I haven't seen them do it like you do. And that is very cool and very interesting. And you're doing it by example, which is also educational, by the way, right? But I think it's fantastic that you're doing it that way. Now, the thing that I'm concerned about is that it's people especially in social media, they just look at everything in black and white, right? They say pro AI against AI, and they don't necessarily see the thing. So the reason I want to show you the Rory piece is he's actually doing something similar, believe it or not, right? Rory himself is a fantastic director. He's very Irish, and his sense of humor is as dark as it gets. So, and he won, he was nominated for an Academy Award for his short film, which was very dark. But he literally is doing a similar thing in a different way. Like, so he put out the Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt video, right? The problem is everyone looked at it and said, look what China did. China didn't do that. Rory did,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, right?
Rory did that specifically to show you what Seedance could do and raise the alarm that this is possible. Seedance didn't even know that they could do that. Rory brought that to their attention, right?
And it's good. It was well done because this guy is a really good filmmaker, and he was a good filmmaker for 20 years before he did anything like this.
Right.
Like,
and I heard, didn't they use like motion cap? Didn't they? And it's not all. It wasn't all done with Seedance too, right?
It was 100. It was done with 4 prompts.
It was,
but he does.
So I think there's a lot of lore and rumors about it.
Well, people people certainly want things to be true really hard, and and so you have the people that are anti AI, like, well, obviously they must have done it with motion capture or something like that, and they tell a story about that, and then you have the people that say, like, see, look what the computer did, like that's why AI is going to be amazing,
and then, therefore no more Tom Cruise films, like
no more Tom Cruise films.
That's a bullshit statement.
0%. Like the reason why it works as well as it does is because the guy that put it together had unbelievable patience in doing like 100 takes of such and so, or to boil it down, knowing the difference between what sucks or doesn't suck, like, and being able to tell that difference is what makes you good at filmmaking. Like, if you know that something's funny versus something that's not funny, you pick the funny one. Like, the computer is never going to be able to make this choice in a million years. That's why your actors in your AI video can't make choices. They don't know how to, because they're not awake. There's nothing for them to do. And now, can you tell? Now, we got to take a look at another video of yours. Are you able to talk about that yet, or do you want to? No,
he can talk about it because this podcast will be out after.
Oh yeah, I'm putting it up in a couple days. So I've done a couple like these already. The first one I did was where it's like FBI agents closing in on an actor, and they're telling him that he's in an AI slop video, and he's like, but it looks so good.
Right. That's amazing.
And the reason I made it that way was I'm also trying to let people know that the tools are getting better, that AI is getting better, and I'm still trying to do it in a way that is at least in a funny way, but it's still getting the point across. Because, I knew it was going to kind of upset people. One, I made 100% AI video, which I knew was going to piss people off. But two, that it's looking better. And now am I changing my stance that AI can't act? I mean, I'll argue that they're not really acting; they're just yelling in that video. It's not really acting,
right, exactly.
but it does look better. It is more seamless. I feel like the whole like arm appearing out of nowhere stuff is probably on its way out. I think the voice swapping is probably on its way out. All that kind of early audition video stuff that was happening on my videos, like that's probably not going to happen anymore. I mean, there's going to be new weird things, so don't worry.
You're not going to have 7 fingers. We were concerned about 7 fingers for so long. Yeah.
Right. So the point of that video and the one that you just saw was starting to also like take the veil off of these kind of like Hollywood or cooked videos. Like, what are these videos? And the one that I sent you guys was the one that talks about why so many of the videos that are showing off how good AI is barely have any dialogue in them.
Right.
As far as like spoken dialogue, it's almost always voiceover heavy, or they have one line of dialogue at the end
with slow push in
like,
on a completely dead face. Yeah. And then you go like, oh my God, she's really feeling something.
Like, oh my God, look how good it looks.
Yeah.
And like the graphics are really impressive. And I think it's worth just talking about because again, like rather than being scared of it, teaching people how to have a critical eye on it.
Right.
Because people send me stuff all the time now. And the stuff people always send me are like action sequences.
Right.
Or like, again, like another Transformer ripoff.
Right.
Yeah, and
yeah,
at the
exactly.
end like,
right.
Told you so. And like one line, I'm like, yeah, but like, that's not a movie. Like, that's just like,
right.
That's some slop that like looks pretty good, but there's not really anything to it.
It's a fancy shot or whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
It's a fancy shot. It's not a story. Show me like 10 minutes of something that's like really amazing.
Build a scene that has good dialogue in it and has nice performances and that.
Which like then you can argue like, oh, but they need good, like writing is important. And of course it is, but it's only as good as I don't think right now that an AI actor could pull off like a really good dinner scene where like from American Beauty or something or like something like that.
The amount of takes you would have to get out of an AI actor to get one decent line read from a great film, like say you're doing Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, when Robert Redford says I can't swim, right, to get that read so perfect you would spend 40,000 credits or whatever it is, just grinding it out for 3 months until finally it worked, and then you'd use that one. Like it's dumb. It's dumb. And then I just want to throw that just to build on what you're saying. Like you still need people who know that that's good. Like, and what we normally call that is an actor. Like that job is called acting, and you may as well sort of cinch that up and let the professional who knows how to do stuff do it because it saves you time and money.
The actor's job is to take what they're doing, build on their own life experience and try to make it unique and of their own self. That's why you hired the actor. And AI is not built on that, right? So it doesn't have that context to work with.
It's not an actor. I mean, that is like, and people have mentioned that. I mean, the thing, like, look, I think any director will tell you that, I mean, I don't know any, but I'll tell you that if you cast it right, the work is actually pretty easy directing.
Agreed.
And you're making it, I mean, there's that expression, you can't cast potential. And it's like, when you cast it right, your job is to make it like push it 5%.
Yeah.
It's not heavy
Your
lifting.
job as the director is to have really good taste and have ideas that support that taste.
Yeah.
Like, and be able to communicate these ideas. And like when it's arguable, for instance, that like when you're David Fincher and you're directing Brad Pitt, like Brad Pitt is your AI and you're prompting him 100 times to read the line, but also you're able to have an actual conversation with him as part of how you do that. Right. And that you're reacting to another person to develop this thing that you're both thinking about together, which is something that AI can't actually do. Like AI can help you. They can be a hard wall that you bounce ideas off of, and that can be useful. That's fine. But it's never going to be like talking to somebody else. And it's certainly never going to be faster than talking to a professional actor about what characters are.
Right.
Like, it's just not it's like it's not going to work that way. And I feel like it's like an AI director is never going to make original choices because AI is built on the average of everyone's choice. Yeah. And like this, exactly. And so like this is what I when people are really freaked out about the industry, like I'm not anti-AI tools. Like a lot of the stuff is super powerful and it's great for, like if you figure out how to work with it, it can do things that are really useful. However, if you think it replaces taste, you're wrong. Like if you're going to make something that is good, then you have to know what good is. And even if you're a guy, even if you know as a director, like I know what good music is, and I know what good writing is, and I know what good acting is, you're probably not going to have the bandwidth to do all those things today. Like you still need all those people to help you do these things.
Right.
And I think that this is something that especially the new short that we watched, I was like, this is really genius because it not only points out what AI can't do, it also shows how much us interacting with the movie is what generates the movie in our minds.
Yeah, you're doing all the work.
You're doing all the work, right?
You're giving it its internal. Yeah, if you look at a sad person, you immediately project
exactly
what you think it's sad about.
Yes,
absolutely. I'm gonna piggyback on this real quick, but on that one because I think it's fantastic. I've been thinking about it a lot for the last couple of hours since you sent me that video. But the one thing I want to bring up is I want to bring up Rory's video that he did, which was 100% generated with AI, incling the song and everything else, right? And the idea.
Oh, it was. I didn't realize the song was too.
Yeah, everything.
The whole thing. Yeah.
The whole thing. And he's done several of these, and it's not because he's doing them to bring attention to the fact. And in fact, the story itself is about, if you look at the narrative, it's about super rich guys putting on a beauty pageant and the beauty pageant kills them, right?
Right.
Which is about the AI world killing the billionaires, right?
Yes.
So that's the idea.
Right.
So in itself, it is a statement on the AI tools themselves, right? So it's a kind of a fantastic thing. What I think is fantastic about what he did is he made it look like a David Fincher movie, right? Like he did a job of making it look like that, and he's got taste, and he's showing the power of what it takes to do something if you really put an actual vision behind it, because people think they can direct.
An enormous amount of effort to do something like that. It's just incredible.
People just think that they can just prompt their way to a movie. It doesn't make any sense because you don't actually know how to make a movie to start with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, the problem was. Now, I want to go back to your empathy thing because your entire video is about building empathy for a person by looking at their face, which is the most important part of the Uncanny Valley, which is a problem I was dealing with for so long, right? The thing that I find is fascinating about AI faces right now is that they overcome an Uncanny Valley. And even though there's definitely flaws, the Uncanny Valley problem that we used to deal with digital humans has been completely different approach when it comes to AI. I don't look at an AI face and go, ugh.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, it can we used
to look at them and go, ugh, right? And the psychological thing about faces, right? If you think about it this way, because your video brings it up in a good way, is we look at faces and we empathize with what's going on. And this is something built from birth, right? I used to use this story as my example. My daughter was born literally fresh out of the womb, right? The first thing after she stopped crying, the first thing she does is she stared into my face. I was the first thing she decided to study in the world, is a face, because the face is what shows you whether you are in danger or you're going to survive, right? If someone looks dangerous or sick or whatever, you immediately have a visceral reaction to it. That's why the Uncanny Valley, if something is slightly off, you have a flight or flight moment to it, right? But you can gain empathy from looking at a socket in the wall because it's got two eyes and a nose, right?
What's the famous cell? Did Fincher do the commercial with a lamp? Like, oh, it's a lamp. What are you sad about? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the IKEA commercial. Yeah,
the IKEA commercial.
So, empathy is such a powerful emotional state. Right. And the problem that people had whenever they were before the AI stuff, when we're just doing things completely digitally, the problem people used to have is when they would have something that would be slightly off, they would massively overcorrect in either direction where they could never get it right. And that's why the Uncanny Valley was so challenging for so long. Right. But I think what you showed specifically in that video is
you avoided the one thing that AI does that makes you question it is
right. Because
talking.
if you compare your actor videos where the actor is just like, "Hello, I love the Shawshank Redemption," right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Where it's just like it's completely idiotic and a terrible performance, right? Like it's such a dead giveaway that this is not a living being. Like when they try to talk at all, you know. But
right. The more they talk, the worse it gets.
The worse it gets. The worse it gets. And so, like, I feel like that there's elements of the tool that if you plug it into a professional who is an actor who understands performance, there may be a job for that actor to do that uses that tool, but they have to drive that. Otherwise, there's no game in town. Like I just don't know how actors stop having work because of AI. Because AI is like, even if they were humans, they're terrible. Like they're not hireable. So how are they going to take the jobs when they suck so bad? Like you still need actors to be
Have you
good.
been to the movies recently?
Yeah, I know. Okay, fair enough. But still, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the thing. It's like the argument against AI, oh, it's going to take over everything. I'm like, the audience, even more so than the director, still has to like it. And if they don't, they won't buy the ticket. That's the end of the business. You know, so I feel like that's the thing is like for everyone that's panicking, if you think it's terrible, so will I when I see it be shitty.
Yeah, I do think less people would watch those programs. I really do. I mean, I think especially like the youth. I mean, like the people coming up, like they really don't like it.
No, they hate it.
I think it will. I think human stuff is gonna be coming at a premium in the next 15 years. I think it'll actually be worth more. I do think that it will exist, though. I do. I mean, I think like there's gonna be people that like, that watch bad television, and and it's gonna just be another version of bad television. And I think that will probably exist. I guess I don't know. It's such a crazy, or it's just a very interesting. It's so transitional.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
What will be the guardrails? What will be the limit? Like, there's a lot to be. There's a lot of unknowns right now. Well, but I do think people won't accept it. I really do.
Well, because aside from people feeling, morally against it or ethically against it or anything like that, I think just in terms of a business, there is no business model that supports trash. Like it just doesn't work. Right?
And the better it gets, the least popular it gets, which is interesting.
Right.
Actually, I think there is a business that supports trash because ever since reality TV took over, that's what their business model is.
The thing is,
there's something very human about reality.
Yes, exactly. Like when I say trash, I mean actual unwatchable trash, as opposed to like Love Is Blind, which I watch and is not trash. It's Doritos, but it's not trash. Like we do want a little bit of Doritos.
Junk food,
yeah, we want some junk food. That's totally fine. But like but just from a visual, like because we all both come from visual effects. From a visual effects point of view, when you look at this stuff, like there's a lot of great powerful things it can do, but for Chris and I, like we look at it and go like, can we control the shots? Like, can we move where the camera is? Can we control what lens we're shooting with? Until it gives us control, like what's the point? Like it's not a professional tool until you can do those things. So like there's not a lot of viability in that either. Like, so I think that there's a very narrow zone, like essentially what you have mined, right? Where you can let it run and then try to make a movie out of what has happened there.
It's not collaborating. It's just
not collaborating.
Sort of making lemonade.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's like if you're a documentary filmmaker, right, and you found, here's a box of footage I found in the woods. Can I make a movie out of it? Then you can, because you're a human, and like if you have taste and talent, you can make a movie of whatever the footage is. You can make a good movie out of it. I promise. AI is that box of footage. Like you don't have any say over what's in the box, but you do have a say in what you make out of whatever that is. And you might make whatever, the Blair Witch Project. You might make whatever it is, But if you think that there's any creativity in the box, you're out of luck. Like it's just a bunch of stuff. And so
what's been the reaction that people have gotten from your stuff? Either way.
98% positive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I actually am not even sure that people that don't like it are even people. I mean, I mean, I really mean that. Like,
that's amazing.
I think like my wife sent me this video of like a troll center, which because you'll hear me complaining about. I'll be like, oh, this guy said something. It was so mean, and then she sent me the video, and it's like these people at a computer with like 200 phones connected to them, and they're just like,
yeah, exactly.
You know,
they're paid to be mean all day.
Something gets popular. Yeah. The reaction overall has been amazing. I mean, it's been incredibly positive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about it in that I think, and I was really happy that you said it, that it's made people like think about it. It's, I think, taken the sting off of thinking about it and having, I think way more people have opinions about it since the videos have come out. People that probably would have never even wanted to watch AI are now watching it and having an opinion on it. I think there's even power in like 1 million people watching something and agreeing on that we hate this.
Yeah, right.
That is great. And at the very least, it's done that.
Right.
And that now there's like a community of people, and there's definitely been like more people doing it since I started, which is also pretty crazy that it's like, I feel like even started a genre of
100%.
Of like sketch, whatever we're doing, comedy, like AI comedy, which I don't want to say I'm the only one that's done it, but like I hadn't seen anyone doing it until I did it.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
Did you also do the juicy fruit thing?
I did, yeah.
Okay, like if anyone can find this, the wax up your skis, get a tiny baby foot. It's one of the funniest things.
And that was one of the early ones I did that no one, which like that was like, I think very exciting. I basically like took old frames and just regenerate them, and you can make it do whatever you want, and you can make a bunch of old commercials.
Yeah, like this, like
which is fun,
which is awesome, which is just awesome. I mean, this is the thing. It's like in no way like there's no creativity on the AI's part. Like that's you driving this machine to do something ridiculous.
Yes.
That's why it's funny. Like that's why the goodness comes from you. And I think that like as long as that is what the relationship is to a tool, then you're in good shape. And I feel like this is the thing, because like we talk about all the time here, it's like when they came out with mirrorless cameras like the Sony A7 and stuff like that, like you had all these people like, now everybody will be able to make a feature film, right? And it turns out almost everybody just did lens tests. Like they're like, oh, put up a 2-minute video of like this bee landing on a flower in the focus for and just like, this isn't a movie.
That's not a movie.
That's not a movie. Yeah, just movie, like guys. Someone turning into a transformer is not a movie.
It's not a movie.
Yep, exactly
it's
right.
Not a movie. Yep. That's just some whatever.
Yeah,
slop.
That's a tech test. It's a tech test, and I feel like 90%.
I mean, there's something that, especially the new ones, like the one that's about to come out. Like, there's something that tickles me a lot about using their tools against them.
Yes,
I think some people don't get it. Right. I totally understand why some people don't understand what I'm doing. But in the same way, like the Dada movement.
Oh yeah,
during
in the 30s,
that stuff was like amazing, and I love that stuff. Yep. And the idea of like using someone's tool against them to educate them on why it sucks.
Yeah,
is very interesting to me. I know some people don't get it, and people will be like, "You're just making AI videos now," and like I'm sure that
I bring up Duchamp's fountain all the time.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not about the craft, it's about the art. And the people is they want to and there's been this thing that's very upsetting about art. We have forgotten what art is. We keep defining art by craft as opposed to art. And that is completely wrong, because
art is in here.
You can't say I am a good artist because I know how to draw, or I am a good artist because I know how to use AI, or like, no, I'm an artist because I know what's good and what's not good, and I know how to make a statement. And when you look at Duchamp's fountain, that is 100% art.
Yeah, right. Like the example I always say is like the blessing of, say, because I'm an illustrator as well, and the blessing of a really difficult craft like oil painting is that it's such a pain in the ass to learn it. Like you'll spend 10 years just stone cold sucking at it, and in ways that you can't even put in front of people, you know, and every day it asks you, how much do you want to see that thing inside you outside? Like, how much do you want? How much is this worth to you? Because I am super hard, and I'm never going to let you get away for free, you know. And until 10 years in, finally you pry it out of you, and you have enough, and you're like, what you really just did was prove how much you loved a thing. Like, it isn't the paintbrush that did it; it's you did it. You proved it to yourself how much you loved it,
Right.
and it's that impression that you are putting into the media. It's the fingerprint of your feeling that you're putting into the media. The media could be anything. It could be macaroni and cheese. It doesn't make any difference. Like, you are recording the moment you feel something. That's what makes it valuable. And if you're doing anything else, if you think you're going to shortcut your way to that effect or the success that you feel that you should have from that, you're not going to be able to unless you felt something when you did it in the first place. And so use AI or don't use AI. It doesn't make any difference. If you're doing that part wrong, you're not making art to start with.
What are your plans from here, Sergio? Because I know you only have a few minutes, but I don't want to know what your plans are so we can leave a good note.
Gosh, there's so many things that are in the works I can't talk about.
No, man.
I wish I could. But like, there's some pretty amazing bigger picture stuff that is going to come from it.
Okay.
Longer form, I'll just say that, which is going to be, I think, really, really cool. And I'm very excited about it. And I think we'll make, just when I thought like it was over, I was like, oh, it's just beginning.
Oh,
it's
brother,
just beginning.
I am so happy to hear this. This is so good.
I'm very excited. And please come back when you can talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I think, because this is, I mean, here's what, I'm trying to bring to attention to everyone is I want people to pay attention to what's possible and what's not possible. And what you're doing is a very important thing, because you would not have been able to find that humor if this medium did not exist for you to do it.
Right. That's true.
Right.
And the other thing that I was just talking to someone at lunch about this was when like one of the criticisms is like, well, why don't you just get actors to play AI instead of doing it with AI actors? And I was like, it would not be as effective. It just wouldn't.
No.
It would not be as effective. Yeah. It wouldn't be funny. It would be like,
it doesn't illustrate the point as well.
It doesn't illustrate the point. And I've yet to see a human do a really good job being AI. Like, they always overdo it.
Right.
And there's just something about it.
That's fine.
And I jokingly said, like, well, we need to train humans on AI.
Right.
So that they could do it better. But I mean, like, it's impossible to do it without using the tools. And I'm glad you guys get it. I think most people do get it. The stuff that is hard gets old to talk about or defend, which I realize I don't even need to defend it, is like the thing of like, well, you're still using it. And it's like, okay.
Well, I think, I think that stuff, I mean, because like we've been through a couple of these technological things, just like we were talking about at the beginning, and up until recently, like a family member of mine. Now I mostly paint I'm now mostly paint in Photoshop, right? And I just start with like a black field and I start painting.
Yeah, my wife's an illustrator too, so I know. All
there you go.
Yeah.
And and I've been doing this for years, and I've worked on a bunch of big things. I'm really proud of it, and it's all fantastic. But a family member of mine saw a pencil illustration that I had done, and they said, "Oh, I didn't know you could really draw." And I was like, "What do you think I do with my regular day?" Well, they do that on the computer, so it's not really drawing.
Right.
It's like, it's literally exactly the same motion with my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I think that people, whether they're reacting badly or whether they're not reacting, or whatever it is, like they have an assumption, a romantic assumption about what things are, whether it's a romantic evil that I'm fighting against or a romantic notion about what painting is versus like, I'm in a painter's garage and I'm Michelangelo versus Dan working in Photoshop,
right.
But the fact is that if you're honest about the work, you'll do good work. And I think that what you're doing, like, regardless of whether you are using AI or not, is the good work. Your stuff is hysterically funny, and I've seen 3 jokes from you that are sticking in my brain for another year. like you're doing it right.
I mean,
so
just look at
Jordan Peele
when he did
right.
When Jordan Peele did the deep fake of Obama, right? I mean, that was. Are you going to criticize him because he used a deep fake, or are you going to applaud him because he's showing you what's possible with deep fakes?
Yes.
Right? So I think that's an important part of what you're doing. And I'm not necessarily saying that, like, you are showcasing, like, here's where it's falling short and here's why I would rather hire a real actor.
And we can celebrate it. The reason why these things are good is because of you. Like that's the thing that gets highlight for me. It's just like the reason why it's funny is because of you, not because of AI. Like it's important to have AI in it because the AI is not funny, which is funny.
It's a reaction to it.
It's helping you tell the joke.
Yes,
right.
That's that.
Yeah.
That's that. But anyway,
you guys get it. No,
yeah,
and most people do get it. I like coming on here and like giving that 1% a lot of power.
Oh man, I agree with your wife, man. Always look at that thing without all the trolls in the room. That's it. All the trolls in the room. That's it. That's it.
It's weird. They have 12 followers. This must be a real person.
Must be serious. Yeah,
this is a serious person here.
Yeah,
they don't follow me on Instagram, and they have 12 followers. I should really think about what this person's saying.
Hey man, I almost couldn't follow you on Instagram, so don't be too hard on the trolls.
No.
Well, your work is fantastic, and please come back when you have your stuff done because I'd love to see it. Please share it with us if you can soon, so we can look at it and talk about it. But thank you so much,
Check
Sergio.
back with me in like a month, and I can hopefully say a lot.
Super excited.
All right,
That's
sounds
amazing
good.
stuff.
Tech meets the silver or LED screen, pixels and passion on pipelines unknown to host one show on a deadline postponed.